Hi, I'm Sasha. I grew up with a single father, and he loved me to bits. But sometimes he was a bit over the top about his love for sports. He was my biggest fan.
Go, Bolt! Go! That's my girl! Watch out, world! The next Usain Bolt is coming!
Dad was a figure skater during his teen years. My mom left us when I was 2 without any reason, and ever since, he was my everything. We were so close that despite his family's effort to make him remarry, he insisted he was fine and didn't need any female help to raise me.
If her real mom can't take care of her, what woman can?
Though he did his best, one day it dawned on him that he had no idea how to raise a little girl. One time, we were invited to a wedding, and Dad bought matching male suits for us to twin in.
Look, Sasha, we're going to twin in this.
But Dad, it makes me look like a boy.
Who cares? You look good to me.
At his insistence, I wore the suit to the wedding, and I was the laughing stock of the party.
Oh, someone missed her calling as a boy. Will you shut it? Or what? You'll slap me? I bet you can't raise your hand in that stiff suit.
I was really about to hit her, but then my dad and Aunt Vanya showed up.
Okay, someone has a lot of time on her hands. Why don't you go help serve the food?
But
that's an order. Sasha, are you okay?
Before I could speak, Aunt Vanya enveloped me in a hug. She was a policewoman, and though she was the most pushy in my dad's family about him getting married, she was the one that cared about us the most.
Oh, poor you. Of course she isn't okay. If only you had a wife, she would have dressed Sasha properly for the occasion.
That finally sealed the deal for Dad, and from that day, he began to date woman after woman, trying to find the one he would marry so they could better connect with and take care of me. Eventually, I got tired of all the women and told Dad,
it's okay, Dad. I can take care of myself.
But Sasha, you're only 8.
Don't worry. That's why we have Google.
And so from then on, I took charge. I would watch YouTube tutorials to cook.
Hit or miss.
Is there sugar in this?
Yep.
Sometimes I would iron his shirt. And of course, I now shopped for my own dresses. One day, we were cleaning out Dad's room together when I saw a framed picture of his younger self with a red-haired girl.
Dad, who's this?
Dad took the picture from me and got the saddest expression on his face.
That's Harley, my former skating partner.
Did something happen to her? You never told me why you quit ice skating so young.
It's not something I like to talk about, Sasha. Please just drop it.
I bit back my questions and focused on keeping our home together. The more I grew, the more I got better at doing things. This included my athletic skills. In fact, my life was good until one evening when I was 15, Dad made an announcement as soon as he came back from work that changed my life forever.
Guess what, Sasha? I finally found her! My missing rib!
My fork fell out of my hands as I flew to his side.
Oh my god, Dad! Why didn't you tell me your rib was missing? Which side? How did it—
No, Sasha. I mean, I've seen the woman I want to marry. The woman that will be your new mom.
Oh, I thought we abandoned the babysitter project years back. I don't need any woman to take care of me. I'm a big girl now.
I know, but it's not just about a woman to take care of you now, Sasha. I'm in love with her, and I want her by my side. It would make me happier.
Looking at Dad then, I could see the lovesick expression those in movies wore that made me want to puke. And though I felt a bit jealous that I wasn't the center of Dad's attention anymore, I knew I couldn't be selfish. Well, if she makes you happy, then I welcome her with all my heart.
Sasha, you're the best daughter in the world.
Dad's raw excitement made me eager to see her. But the next day when she arrived, I almost peed myself. Her face was full of makeup, bright red lipstick, and long artificial nails that made her look like a beautiful, dangerous witch. But of course, I didn't want to judge a book by its cover, so I played nicely.
Sasha, meet Eva, the woman I told you about. Eva, meet Sasha, my darling, sweet daughter, a blessing from above.
I was bright red, mostly from embarrassment at Dad's flattering words, but Eva didn't look happy at all.
Hello, daddies. Everything. Your dad always talks about you.
Hello, Eva. Welcome to our home.
Okay, I have to meet a client right now. Sasha, be a dear and show Eva around, okay?
Sure.
Dad leaned in and pecked Eva on the cheek, and when he leaned in to peck me too, Eva suddenly threw an arm around me.
I can't wait for you and I to bond.
Dad left, and I took Sasha to the guest room. Dad and her weren't married yet, so she was still officially just a guest.
Here's your room.
It's nice. There's yours.
I pointed over to mine, and in a flash, Eva was in my room with her luggages and unpacking.
Oh, this room of yours is much more lovely and spacious. Let's room together.
You rather share a room than have yours?
Of course. I want to spend every precious second knowing my stepdaughter to be.
I liked my privacy a lot, so even though I did want to bond with her, I completely disliked the idea of sharing my room with her. She was still practically a stranger for Pete's sake. So when Dad arrived, I kind of complained to him so that he could talk her out of it. But when he did, Eva brought on the waterworks.
I was just trying to be a good stepmom.
At the sight of her tears, Dad turned 180 degrees on me.
Oh, Sasha, you promised to welcome her with all your heart.
But Dad!
Look, your room is big enough for 2 people, but if you don't want to share, you can take the one we prepared for her instead.
I was so mad at Dad for the unfair judgment, but just so I won't appear like the bad guy, I let her have her way. And it was the worst night ever. Eva took up all the bed space, shoving me into a corner where I fell off several times. I was forced to spend the rest of the night in the guest room. Soon, it became obvious that Eva didn't like me. She kept doing things to annoy me, using my stuff without my permission, clinging to Dad whenever he was around so I wouldn't even have a chance to talk to him. But Dad was so head over heels, I didn't know how to prove to him that Eva was a bit troublesome. One time, I had some of my friends over for a movie. We were in the middle of watching it when Eva strolled in dressed in yoga pants and switched the channel. Eva, we were just watching a movie.
And I want to watch a free yoga class.
Yoga? Who does yoga in the evening?
Me!
Seeing that Eva was out to quarrel, my friends left and I was so enraged. Eva, what is wrong with you? I try to be good and polite, but you're really pushing it.
Oh, I'm only just getting started, honey.
Her response pushed me off the edge. Thanks for the heads up. Now I just have to make sure you won't ever become Dad's wife.
Good luck with that.
That was how Operation Get Eva Out started. First, I had to get evidence to show Dad that Eva was far from the angel he thought he had found. So when she left for a stroll with Dad one weekend, I snuck into the room she snatched from me to find something that could implicate her. But instead, I found something that confused me. In one of her bags, I was shocked to see the same picture of Dad with a red-haired girl, but in print only. There were other pictures, and they all had my dad in them from that time up until now. There was even several pictures where I was present too. Oh my God, how does she have all these pictures? At the sound of Eva and Dad returning, I rushed out of the room before I could get caught. I couldn't tell what Eva's possession of all those pictures meant. Maybe she was a crazy fan of Dad? Perhaps a stalker? Neither sounded good. The next evening, I decided to show Dad the pictures and see if he could make sense of them. But before I could knock, Dad came out grinning like he won the lottery.
Sasha, just who I wanted to see. Guess what? There's a national racing competition coming up, and your school just informed me that they would like you to represent them.
Yeah! Best news ever!
The winner is getting a scholarship through any university of her choice and a huge cash prize. I know you're going to break a leg. Break a leg indeed. Let me see that. Ha! National Olympics! There's no way a newbie like you is going to win. Sasha is a really good athlete. She can win.
Even if I don't win, it's just a big opportunity to do what I love on a national scale. Winning is just an extra.
Really? We'll see.
I really meant what I said then, but it didn't stop me from working hard for the competition. Eva would always come around to watch me, and I just ignored her. Even the pictures I wanted to show Dad took a back seat in the meantime. As a morale boost, Dad ordered me a beautiful pair of trainers, and I was surprised to see them in Eva's hands just a day to the competition. Hey, what are you doing with my shoes?
Oh, I just cleaned them for you.
They're new. They don't need cleaning.
I think I owe you an apology for how I've been treating you. Please forgive me.
My jaw dropped when she went down on her knees. That's okay. Please get up now.
We'll be besties from now on.
Sounds great. Though I said that, I was still suspicious of the sudden change. So when she left, I quickly peeked inside the shoes to see if she had somehow put any booby trap inside to ruin my day tomorrow. But it was all clear. Had she really turned a new leaf? The next day, Dad and Eva accompanied me to the competition arena, and I changed into the sports gear. My shoes felt strange as I walked, but I chalked it up to being paranoid since I saw Eva with them. I should have paid more attention though, because the second the whistle blew and we took off, I had barely taken a step forward when I slipped and fell smack to the ground. Dad, Eva, and many others were around me in seconds, but I could barely talk with the pain in my ankle.
Her ankle might be fractured. She needs to go to the hospital now.
They helped me up, and with one look at Eva's smirking face, I knew she had done something.
Oh, There's no way she can run now. Of course, let's just take her to the hospital.
Wait! I raised my foot and looked at the sole of my shoes. And just as suspected, I saw that all the grooves had been sanded off. It hadn't occurred to me to check the sole yesterday. Now it was so smooth, there couldn't be any friction between it and the ground. That's why I fell.
Whoa! What kind of person made these terrible shoes? I'm going to sue the company.
I knew exactly why my shoes were that way, but I bit my tongue for the meantime. Leaving the competition meant Eva had won, and I wouldn't give her that satisfaction. So I pulled off my shoes, and everyone watched in shock as I walked back to the line.
Sasha, what are you doing? You're limping.
Without looking back, I took off running. Well, more like limping. The stadium went quiet as they watched me, and when the other athletes began to cross the finish line while I kept going, they went wild cheering for me.
Can you believe it? Sasha Chin, our youngest competitor, continues barefoot despite her injury. This is record-breaking.
Of course, I didn't win. In fact, I came in last place. But that day, I was hailed an inspiration to all for not giving up till the finish line, and that alone made me so happy. Bitterness was written all over Eva's face when I finally met up with them.
Honey, that was so reckless of you, but oh my god, you're so awesome!
Thanks, Dad. Now, Eva, what moved you to eliminate the grooves in my shoes? And don't try to deny it. I have a live picture of how those shoes were before you ruined it. That was a lie, but I just had to make Eva confess.
What? Eva, you did what? Oh, stop flapping your mouth like a dumb fish. You go on and on about your perfect daughter who is great at sports. How dare you after you ruined my own career? 26 years ago, if only you paid attention and caught me, I wouldn't be limping. Wait, you're Harley?
Dad and I watched in horror as Eva pulled off her wig, revealing bright red hair like the girl in the picture from Dad's ice skating days.
Correct. All this has been a well-staged arrangement to get back at you for ruining my life, for failing to catch me.
While she was ranting, I noticed Aunt Vanya come up behind her, holding a recorder and asking me to be quiet. I had invited her to the competition, and though she was late, I couldn't think of any better timing.
But that wasn't my fault. You were so desperate to win, you insisted on that risky stunt. Whatever. I just hope your daughter's limp is permanent. If that's so, then forget her showy display today. Her career would be over, like mine was.
I wonder what the police would say about everything you just confessed to.
I don't see anyone calling the police. Your word against mine, honey.
Eva turned white when she saw my aunt waiting for her with a glare and holding up a recorder.
Your confession is on record. You're under arrest, ma'am.
While Eva was arrested, I finally let Dad take me to the hospital so my ankle could be checked. I had just suffered a minor sprain and would be fine in days. Better yet, though I came in last place, everyone at the stadium had voted for me to return for the next round in a few weeks if the doctor gave me the clear. So Harley is why you quit skating, huh?
Yes. To impress, she was always coming up with moves that were very risky. What happened to Harley was an accident, but it shook me up so badly I quit. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you or listen to you.
It's okay, Dad. You were in love. Guess that's what they mean when they say love is blind, right?
That's the last woman for me, Sasha.
Oh, come on, Dad, don't worry. You'll still find her one day. The woman that will be your missing rib, and maybe your left kidney too.
I've missed you, honey. You're the greatest love of all.
With my consent, Dad dropped the charges against Eva, aka Harley, so she could go her way in peace, and we went back to the good old days of just the two of us. I learned the importance of not keeping secrets in the family, and I hope one day to inspire more young people to never give up doing what they love, even when there are obstacles.
Hi, I'm Ada from Nigeria. Ever since I was a little girl, I loved working on cars with Grandpa.
Want to give this one a try?
Sure. Grandpa, this is so cool. I want to build cars one day and—
Build cars? Ew, that's not a girl's job.
That was my Aunt Chi. I was raised by her alongside her own daughter June after I lost my parents.
If that is what she wants to be, then you have no right to stop her. The sky is her starting point.
I felt grateful for Grandpa. He always believed in me, unlike Aunt who always tried to make my life miserable. Like this one time my aunt's daughter June and I were playing outside. We had so much fun playing mud. But when Aunt came out, she went ballistic when she saw how messed up our clothes were.
I bet this was all Ada's idea. June, if you continue to follow this rotten girl around, your future will be nothing but a dark shadow.
But Mom, it was my idea to make sand cakes. Please don't blame Ada.
Oh, please, June. Stop making excuses for her. She has always been nothing but trouble.
Why do you not like me, Aunt? I did nothing wrong. Don't worry about my mom, Ada. I think my mom is just jealous her dad likes you more than her.
June always knew how to cheer me up and would sometimes defend me from her mom. But by the time we hit puberty, June began to change. All she could talk about all day was boys and her looks.
What do you think about my hair? And look at the lipstick my mom got me. And guess who asked me out today?
There's more to life than boys, you know.
Why do you always have to be so boring?
Thanks to her mom's influence, June was becoming increasingly mean, and I was getting the brunt of it. One day when we were 14, we were on our way to church when June suddenly let out a scream.
I forgot to put on my earrings.
I'm sure you can survive today without it.
That's why you'll never make it in life. You are fashion blind. Now go get her earrings.
But our house is so far away now, and it's raining. I said hurry up.
Aunt Chi made me trek all the way back home in the rain for a freaking pair of earrings. I came back drenched and so had to wait outside the church till the program was over. I was so mad at her and June.
You made me walk back in the rain for this. Sorry, I just can't do without them.
June might have had the ball in the court when at home, but at school, I stayed top of my class. But June kept flunking her classes up to 12th grade because she was too pretty to read. But her mom didn't seem to mind.
My teacher said I may not graduate high school at this rate.
You don't need good grades when you're this pretty. One day, one rich dude will sweep you off your feet and you won't have to suffer.
You should be telling her to read hard so she can find a good job and be rich herself.
Oh, shut up, grease monkey.
I couldn't wait to be free of those two and their low mentality. One Saturday, I accompanied June to go do her hair, and on our way there, we saw a guy strumming along on his guitar with a money bowl that only had chewing gum in it.
Wise men say only fools rush in.
Despite his ragged dreads and outfit, I could see the guy was handsome, but I also noticed he had eyes for June. The moment we were about to pass, he jumped before us and continued singing.
But I can't help falling in love with you. Hi, beautiful. Are you an electrician? Because you definitely lit up my day now.
Are you blind? You see a hot bod like this and you assume I am an electrician?
It means he likes you.
Yeah, seriously, you're like an angel. Can I just have your number?
He gave her a piece of paper with a pen. June took the paper and spat on it, then gave it back to him.
You're cute, but that's what I think of broke guys like you. Find a girl your class. That's rude.
June walked away without an apology, and I felt so bad for the guy.
Look, nice song there. I don't have money now, but maybe I can treat you to lunch tomorrow to apologize on my sister's behalf.
I gave him my grandpa's business card.
Thanks.
I didn't expect he would take me up on my offer, but the next day, Grandpa and I were working on a truck when we started hearing someone playing on a guitar. It was the guitar guy from yesterday.
Hey, remember me?
Of course I remember you. A little.
I realized then that I was covered in grease and wanted to disappear.
I don't always look this dirty.
We have a saying that dirty-looking people are the richest. So what I am seeing on you is money, not dirt.
What?
I'm Austin.
Austin was all shades of sweet, and soon him coming over to the garage became a custom. He would keep me company with some jokes, music, or juicy gossip. Although I loved his melodious voice, sometimes I tried to persuade him to make better use of his time here, but he wouldn't listen.
No. Working with my hands is not my calling. Only singing.
So you want to be a singer?
Yup. And when I make it as a big star, I'm gonna credit my first music to you.
Though he talked a lot, he hardly said anything about his family, but I soon found out why. A few days to Christmas, we hung out at a lake resort.
So, what are your plans for Christmas?
Christmas is for people who have family.
Wait, Austin, you don't have a family? Where do you live?
Nope, no family, and I live there.
Austin pointed at the city's bridge that was a bit in the distance and smiled sadly.
That's my home, Ada, under that bridge.
My heart broke for him that day, and I invited him over to Aunt's place for Christmas dinner. It was the only time she was at her nicest, but I made the big mistake of forgetting to tell her beforehand. Christmas came, and just as we had settled down for dinner, Austin arrived.
Aunt Chi, I'm so sorry that I forgot to tell you that I invited my friend. Please meet Austin. This penniless wannabe musician is your friend?
June, be nice. Austin doesn't have a family to celebrate Christmas with.
Is that so? Oh, Austin, come in and sit.
I sighed in relief at Aunt's friendly tone, but tensed again when I saw her pass a knowing look at June.
Thank you for having me.
What will you have, dear? There's fried rice, chicken, meat pie, and juice.
Anything, really.
To my horror, she picked up a plate with a dishing spoon and began to scoop nothing into the plate while June giggled like a maniac.
That's fried rice, chicken, meat pie, and orange juice. Enjoy.
I felt myself boil in anger. You can have mine.
No thanks.
Austin insisted that he go home, and when he left, I went off at Aunt and June.
This is just too much. Are poor people worms to you? You don't respect even your own dad.
Don't yell at me, you ungrateful worm. You have some guts bringing in that stinky brat here.
I didn't see Austin again for about 3 days, but when I did, I was surprised to see him all smiles.
Austin, what's going on?
I won a local music competition. A foreign music agency wants me over in the US to sign me up. I will be leaving early next year.
You're going to the USA?
I told you I was gonna make it big.
He was so excited, and I was happy for him, but I was going to miss him. On New Year's Eve, we met again at the bridge for the last time before he traveled, and somehow the atmosphere was just thick. I'll miss you, Austin. He looked at me and our faces grew closer together, and just as the fireworks ensuing the new year went off, Austin gave me a light kiss. It was like fireworks went off in my heart.
Then wait for me. I'll come back.
I did wait, but I made sure to keep busy. With my savings and Grandpa's support, I pursued my dream course, automotive technology, in a university, while June became a model. 3 years passed and I began to lose hope of ever seeing Austin again. But one day while I was home trying to complete a project, June suddenly let out a scream. I rushed out to see her.
June, what's going on? Look who's on the television!
It was Austin on TV being interviewed. He was now a big star and was coming back to Nigeria for a concert.
Mom, I have to go to that concert. He's rich now. I have to see him.
Yes, you'll go, June. Use your charm. Beg his forgiveness.
Seriously? Because he's popular now? That's the same guy you humiliated 4 years ago.
It made me so mad to have to go to the concert with June, but I had to see Austin. The concert hall was packed with people, and then Austin appeared on stage.
Oh my god! Is that him? He looks like a demigod.
He really did. I had to stop myself from drooling the way June was. His singing threw the crowd in a frenzy, and when he finished, I snuck backstage so I could see him. I found a door wide open, and when I looked in, Austin was in the room, but so was June, and she was all over him.
I realized I was so wrong, and I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
You're the one who took my breath away the very first time I saw you. Of course I forgive you.
What's going on here?
Oh, Mary, right?
Wait, you don't know my name again? You told me to wait for you after you kissed me.
Oh, did I? Well, that kiss was a spur-of-the-moment action, you know. June and I make a better couple. She's a model, and I'm a singer. You're just a mechanic. Nah, won't work.
Ew, I'm grossed out just thinking about it. Wait, do you even remember how she treated you?
Because I was poor, but now I am rich and can get anything I want, including her. See?
Angry tears filled my eyes, but I forced them back because Austin didn't deserve them. The insensitive moron went ahead to try and kiss June in my presence, so I took off my shoes to throw at his head, but they hit June instead.
Ouch, my head, it hurts. I guess the shoe decided you deserved it more.
Austin had his security kick me out, and when June later came home, she told Aunt I had attacked her, and Aunt threw out my things.
We can't accommodate an enemy of progress like you in our house.
Well, I can't stand to live with shallow people like you anymore. And good luck with Austin. You're two stupid people that deserve each other.
I moved into Grandpa's garage, and he welcomed me warmly.
Stay as long as you'd like. Honestly, I am impressed you tolerated your Aunt Chi this long. She's my daughter, but I can't stand her.
Austin and June's betrayal still hurt, but I pushed on. And one day, my life completely changed. I was returning from the grocery store one day when I saw a brand new Chevrolet parked on the roadside with several mechanics all over it.
Hey, what's going on here?
The owner got it from her husband, took it for a drive today, and it just broke down. No one has been able to fix it, and she doesn't trust any mechanic to take it to his workshop.
I approached one of the mechanics, and when I told him I would love to take a look at the car,
You? Come, guys, back off. This little girl says she could fix what 5 men can't.
all eyes were on me as I popped the hood. It was the longest 20 minutes of my life, but I soon found the fault and the car roared with life. The men were gaping when I came out of the car, and a reporter rushed towards me.
Hello, ma'am. Please tell us your name and how you managed to fix this car these men had been working on for hours.
I have lifelong experience fixing cars. If you want to know more, you can visit my garage. I gave the reporter my card and ran away from all the curious eyes. The next morning, our garage was swamped with drivers wanting their cars serviced. The video of me fixing the car had gone viral, and almost everyone wanted me to become their car mechanic. In just a few days, I got enough money to expand Grandpa's garage, hire some workers, and buy a cozy house for him and I nearby.
I'm going to leave this world as a happy old man.
Leave this world to where? You're stuck with me, old man. After my graduation and National Youth Service, and I got multiple offers to manage different automobile companies. Life was good and so busy I almost forgot the people from my past. But one day, I had a rude reminder. I went to a restaurant when I noticed the couple across about to be arrested by security.
We will pay the bill later, my idiot husband.
Your idiot husband? You wasted all my money!
I felt pity for them. How much is their bill? I will pay.
Hey, thank this lady over here. She just paid for your bill.
The couple turned to look at me, and my world froze. It was Austin and June. The sight of them brought back bitter memories, so I stood up to go. I had just reached my car when I heard Austin behind me.
Ada!
What is it?
Wow, you look different, in a good way.
You look different too, but not in a good way. He was so thin and harrowed.
It's all your cousin's fault. She ate all my money and reverted to a nagging crone. Please forgive me. If I leave June, would you marry me?
I saw red. I popped open the bottle of water I had taken from my table and threw it on him.
Shame on you, Austin. June is pregnant, for goodness sake. You know what? I should be thankful to her. She saved me from being with a rotten, selfish jerk. I'll not be anybody's second choice, and I won't take leftovers either.
I got into my car and drove off, my heart aching for my cousin and the horrible man she had married. Girls, we don't need some prince to rescue us or some rich man to free us from hardship. Work hard, be focused, and you'll see, you'll be your own hero.
Hi, I'm Colton, your friendly neighborhood geek. Even though I was a bookworm, there was only one thing that distracted me. Haley, my super gorgeous and rich neighbor. Once, I even proposed to her with a ring pop. She was the sweetest girl ever. The only thing that stood between us was money. Her family had a lot, and my family was the average type. We're married now. Haley laughed, and all I could do was stare. Even though I was just 7 years old, I had a huge crush on her and knew I'd marry her for real one day. We happily licked our ring pops, but just then, Haley stopped smiling and hid her hand behind her back. Suddenly, someone pinched my ear and dragged me to my house.
What do you think you're doing with my daughter?
Haley's mom really didn't like me, even though we were neighbors. She always called me a poor boy, just because they drove a better car than my family.
Haley, how many times must I tell you not to play with this poor boy?
Mom! Leave him alone!
Mom! Dad! My parents heard the commotion and came out. As soon as my mom saw how Mrs. Smith was mishandling me, she shoved her so hard that Mrs. Smith fell on her back.
Keep Cody away from my daughter. She's going to be a rich, famous model soon. She can't be hanging out with losers like him.
Well, my son is not a loser. You are, Mrs. Smith. You're just a low-level, materialistic woman. Pathetic.
After that day, Haley's mom never let her hang out with me. As years passed, she became even prettier, while I became the scrawny geek with a terrible fashion sense. By the time we were in high school, my crush on her was unbearable. So one day in 9th grade, I decided to ask her out. After getting flowers and writing a beautiful speech, I waited for everyone to settle down in class, and then I approached Haley and went down on my knee. Roses are red, violets are blue. My love for you is true, just like this sky is blue. Okay, maybe not the best speech, but Google had assured me it'd work. Our wedding may have been fake that day under the tree, but my love was always real.
You're pathetic. How could you even think Haley would have time for someone like you?
Haley's out of your league, Cody. Just give up already.
Colton. My name is Colton.
Colton, this is sweet, but you need to stop. You know I'm dating Hero now.
Seriously, dude. Go give these flowers to your grandma or something.
Well, at least my grandma has more brains than you.
What did you say?
Leave him alone, Hero.
Hero was Haley's boyfriend. He was the school karate champion, but when it came to passing his tests, he failed miserably and usually ended up copying me.
Afraid of competition, Hero? How many times have you gotten Haley flowers? I'm guessing 0, just like the score on your math tests.
You're really starting to irritate me.
Hero grabbed the flowers and threw them in the trash. What a jerk!
But there was nothing more I could do. He had muscles on top of his muscles, so punching him would only hurt my hand.
I'm sorry, Colton. Please stop trying.
I won't give up. You'll see.
A few days after my love confession to Haley, I heard noise coming from her house. And when I looked through the window, I saw her friends hanging out by the pool. Just then, I heard a knock on the door, and when I opened it, I almost tripped when I saw who it was.
Haley, why are you here?
I'm sorry about what happened the other day.
It's okay. I'll always be here for you.
That's sweet, Colton. Anyway, a bunch of us are hanging out at the pool. Want to join us?
Me?
Duh. Yes, you. See ya.
After she left, I rushed to my parents' room and raided my dad's closet. I put on his favorite shirt and drenched myself with his cologne. I had a girl to impress, so I stood in front of the mirror and practiced my entry to the party.
Hi. Are you Google? 'Cause you have everything I'm searching for.
That was a good one, right? And if that didn't work, this next one was a sure thing.
I hope you know CPR, because you took my breath away.
At the time, I felt like $1,000,000. But as soon as I walked into the party, I spotted Haley and walked towards her, but Hero stood and blocked my way.
What's that smell? Did you bathe in cologne, bro?
Before I could answer him, he picked up a water balloon and threw it at me.
You need to wash off that smell before you give us all a bad headache. Maybe I should just throw you into the pool.
When Hero started to walk toward me, I knew I had to do something, so I picked up a big bowl of punch and dropped it over his head. And then Haley suddenly rushed to him.
Hey, what did you do that for?
I couldn't believe it. How was she not mad at him? He started it.
I regret inviting you to my party.
Yeah, she only invited you because she felt sorry for you.
Wow, so much for thinking that Haley actually cared about me.
I don't need anyone to feel sorry for me. Enjoy your stupid party, Haley.
After the party, I vowed to stop trying to impress Haley and focused on my science projects. When it was time for the school annual talent show, I had the perfect idea. I was going to make ice cream from scratch.
Dude, what are you even doing?
Actually, I'm making ice cream.
Did you say ice cream? Yum!
Sure, you can have some.
Me too, me too!
Before I knew it, I was surrounded by girls. Who's laughing now, Hero? As I was busy enjoying all the attention, the lighting on the runway stage changed to pink, and Haley made an entrance. It was hard not to look, and I had to admit, she looked beautiful. I pulled myself together and went back to dishing out ice cream, until I heard Haley scream, and when I looked, I saw her fall on the runway. Seconds later, Hero was by her side, being the perfect boyfriend.
Who wants to try a new flavor?
As weeks went by, my newfound fame faded. I went back to being invisible. Until one day when I accidentally walked into karate class. And as soon as Hero saw me, he smirked.
Dude, are you lost? Loser's Corner's that way.
He thought he was so clever. So I decided to mess with him. I'm not lost. I'm here to learn karate.
You mean you're here to try and impress Haley?
Not everything is about Haley.
This is not the place for you, Colton.
It's not up to you to decide.
Okay, that's enough. Colton, welcome to the class. If you're serious, put your books down and get on the mat, and show us what you got.
I knew I'd just walked straight into the lion's den, but there was no way I was going to back out and have Hero laugh at me. I had no clue what he wanted me to show them, so when I got on the mat, I closed my eyes and remembered all of the moves I'd watched on the Karate Kid movie. Hey-ya!
Time to come out of your trance, Colton. That was, impressive. Now it's time to practice. Keisha, you're on.
As soon as I heard Keisha's name, I knew I was in trouble. Keisha was the female version of Hero. She was the female karate champion and Haley's best friend. Without warning, Keisha stood up and swept me off my feet. Literally, I landed on my butt.
Time out! Time out! Oh, my back hurts. Ouch. This was a bad idea. You were right, I was lost. I was headed to the library. I may not be as good in karate, but I'm smart, and I'm okay with that.
As I walked away from the gym, limping, Keisha caught up with me.
Are you here to finish me off?
Relax, crybaby. I just want to talk.
Right. Then talk. I don't have all day.
Rude! Anyway, I liked what you said to Hero just now. You're smarter than him, and he hates it. Don't ever let him put you down.
I was stunned. Keisha always treated me like I was invisible. Thanks?
Look, we don't have to like each other. I'm actually risking my reputation talking to you like this. But I want to help you.
Help me with what?
With Haley, I can help you get her attention.
No thanks. I'm over her now.
Just imagine it. In just a few weeks, you can be just as buff as Hero. Then you'll be both beauty and brains.
Honestly, it was like I couldn't escape Haley no matter how much I tried. I'd work on myself in other ways. Karate wasn't it. Also, why was Keisha being so nice all of a sudden? What's in it for you?
Forget I said anything. You never stood a chance with Haley anyway.
Keisha stormed off and left me confused. One minute she was nice, the next minute she looked like a hurricane. What was that about? A few hours later, I was walking home from school when I spotted Hero's car parked by the roadside. As I got closer to the car, I noticed he had a girl with him and he was kissing her. Ugh, just my luck. I know I said I was over Haley, but that didn't mean I wanted to see her kiss him. I was about to walk away when something caught my eye. The girl in the car was not Haley. It was Keisha. Hello, lovebird.
Colton, please don't tell Haley.
I thought she was your best friend. It all made sense now. This was why Keisha was so determined to help me with Haley. She wanted her out of the way.
It's not what it looks like.
Right. And next you're going to tell me that the sky isn't blue. And you, got nothing to say?
This is none of your business. You better keep your mouth shut, or else I'll knock your teeth out.
He was kind of right. It really wasn't any of my business. Also, I loved my teeth. So I turned to walk away, but just then, Haley rode by and stopped when she saw us.
Hey, girl. I thought you were already home.
Wow, she was so fake. Couldn't Haley see through all this acting?
What are you guys doing here?
Nothing, babe. Just having a little chat with Colton.
Actually, they...
Babe, don't believe anything Colton says. He didn't see anything.
You fool! He didn't tell her anything, but you just might have.
What's going on?
I was done covering for those backstabbers. I may have gotten over Haley, but she deserved to know the truth. I caught them kissing just now.
What?
Honestly, Haley, I don't understand how you can surround yourself with such fakes.
What did you just say? I'm gonna teach you a lesson.
That was all the warning I got before he aimed a flying kick at me. But Haley jumped in right in front of me, and the kick landed right on her face.
Oh no, I'm so sorry, Haley. I didn't mean to.
Don't touch me!
Shame on both of you. Haley did not show up at school for a week, and when she did, her mom was with her. When Hero saw how bruised her face was, he went to talk to her, but her mom shoved him away.
You're not allowed near my daughter! Do you know how much money we're losing as we wait for her face to heal?
I felt really bad for Haley, but there was nothing I could do. So I buried myself in books and spent most of my time in the library. I wanted to make something of myself. I eventually stayed away from Haley, and once I completed school, I moved to the city and became a successful businessman, owning my own coffee shop. One day as I sat in a restaurant scrolling through my phone, a lady carrying a coffee pot tripped and landed on my lap. The pot landed at my feet, splashing coffee on my shoes. Hey, watch it!
I'm so sorry, Mr.
I was about to tell her off when I realized who it was. Haley?
Colton? Wow, you look different.
Not geeky and scrawny anymore.
I never thought you were geeky and scrawny. Also, there's nothing wrong with being either of those things.
Ah, then was it the cologne? That was my dad's, by the way.
There was nothing wrong with you, Colton. I actually liked you. But Mom wanted me to date Hero because his dad was a famous modeling agent.
Of all the things I expected her to say, that wasn't one of them. What? That's crazy. As I stared at her, she reached for her necklace, pulled it out from under her blouse, and revealed a ring pop? It couldn't be.
Do you remember this?
How could I not? Is this the same one I gave you when we were kids?
Yes, I've been saving it this whole time.
I was stunned. All this time, I thought Haley ignored me because I was a geek. Turns out she was just afraid of her controlling mom. Haley, Just then, the woman I hated most at that moment walked in and came straight toward us.
Hi, Hales. Do you have $100 I could borrow? Oh, and I just saw this fancy car outside. Woo! And who's this handsome gentleman?
Mom! You really don't recognize Colton?
She came in and squinted so close to my face I could feel her breath.
Cody? Colton! It's Colton, Mom! And that fancy car outside, that's his!
I've never seen anyone's face brighten up faster than Mrs. Smith's did that day. Suddenly, I had an idea. Hey, Mrs. Smith, you said you needed $100, right?
Yeah, I do actually. There's this really cute dress at the mall and I just have to have it.
Not so fast. I'll only give you this if you agree to cover Haley's shift so she and I can go for a drive in my fancy car.
Oh, but...
Take it or leave it.
Fine. I'll do it.
Where to?
I know just the place. When Haley and I walked out of the coffee shop, I thought about taking her to a fancy restaurant, but I chose to bring her to our tree instead. So, how have you been? Why are you working at the coffee shop? As soon as I asked that last question, I regretted it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean...
It's okay. I also didn't think I'd end up there.
What happened?
I quit modeling because there was too much pressure from Mom. I planned to go to college and get away from her, but I found out she'd squandered all of our savings, so here I am. Worse still, we might lose our house due to her ridiculous spending.
Once again, I was filled with rage at Haley's mom. Seriously, what kind of mom does that? I'm so sorry, Haley. Tell me how I can help. As I listened to Haley, I made a decision to help her go to college and keep her house. I was angry at her mom, but if I refused to help, Haley would suffer too. You don't have to pay for your mom's mistakes. I'll make sure you go to college and keep your house. As Haley hugged me, I reached out to the tree and I removed a patch of tree bark. And out fell my ring pop. I hid it there years ago when I decided to stop trying to win over Haley.
Oh my god, you kept yours too?
Yup. Now how about we put them back on?
Wait, does this mean we're married again?
And what do you think I said?
Hi, I'm Jewel. Thank you for tuning in to STA. Please like and subscribe. Ever since I was a little girl, I loved painting. My favorite artist was Georgia O'Keeffe. Once I felt so inspired by her works that I started painting the walls of my room, and then my parents walked in.
Ah! Is that fire? Did somebody say fire? Oh!
It's not fire, Mom. It's just paint. See?
This is a mess! When will you stop playing around with paint? Oh, Jewel, we've told you to invest your time better by reading and becoming a lawyer.
Well, I don't want to be a lawyer. I'm going to be an artist.
My parents were big-time politicians who gave me almost everything I asked for, but life with them wasn't easy. Thanks to their career, they were always obsessing over what the media and people would say about them that they wouldn't let me live a normal life. I wasn't even allowed to wear the same outfit twice.
Oh, honey, didn't I just buy you a dashing Gucci gown for this party?
But Mom, I love this gown, and besides, I've only worn it once.
Listen to your mom and wear the new one. I don't want people wagging their tongues that I can't take care of my family.
Apart from being obsessed with what people were or were not saying about them, my parents were also paranoid of my safety. I wasn't even allowed to go to school without my personal security guards. Thanks to that, most of my classmates shied away from me.
Hey, I'm Jewel. Can we be friends?
I gotta go. And the ones who didn't shy away practically kissed my feet just to roll with me, and I hated that.
Hey, I love your hairdo. I'm sure your parents paid a ton for it. Everything you wear is so chic.
This hair is like this because I haven't combed it for 3 days now.
Oh, well, it's still gorgeous.
The situation at school made me very lonely, and it didn't help that my parents wanted me to be their only child. No matter what I did, they wouldn't budge on the matter. One day we were shopping, and I was so drawn by the cute little things in the baby section.
Look, Mom, isn't this onesie cute?
True, but there's no one in our family it would fit.
I grinned because Mom had fallen into my trap with those words.
Can't we just buy it now and keep it for when you have my baby brother or sister? Please?
Mind what you say in public. The tabloids can be anywhere. Jewel, you have all the toys in the world. How could you possibly be lonely? I won't ruin my shape to get another baby.
Then adopt.
No way!
My parents had more than enough to take care of a dozen more children, so I couldn't understand why they would neither give birth to another nor adopt. I kept pushing for it, until one time when I was 13, I took it a little bit too far. They were in a press meeting, and I just walked in on them.
So, Dad, Mom, you haven't told me why I can't have a brother or sister.
Mom and Dad went red in the face and began to sputter.
Honey,
The press had a field day, and my parents were so embarrassed and angry. They exploded on me as soon as we were alone.
Never you, ever in your life ask us about having siblings again!
But I want one!
Well, that's one thing you can never have. Don't be so greedy. Pull a stunt like this again, and I'm going to get rid of every single painting you think we don't know about.
I couldn't bear to have anything happen to my hard work, so after that incident, I stopped asking them for a sibling. I almost resigned my life to one of loneliness. But when I turned 15, a ray of sun burst into my life. In the 10th grade, we were introduced to a new art teacher.
Hello, everyone. I am Miss Millicent. I will be your art teacher henceforth.
On that first day, she asked us to present our best artwork. Seeking to impress, I threw all my passion into my painting. But just as I finished, students had gathered around and were laughing at it.
This should be awarded the grossest painting of the century.
I wanted to burst out with anger, but of course if I did anything like that, it was sure to be on the headlines tomorrow. So I grabbed the canvas to take it down, but out of nowhere Miss Millicent grabbed my hand.
Hey, let me see that.
I gave her the painting and waited for more criticism, but she began to gush over it instead.
Wow, is this a girl hatching from a bird's egg? It's so beautiful. This is my favorite art so far.
Thanks.
What's your name, girl?
I'm Jewel. Even though we were at least 17 years apart, Miss Millicent took a liking to me, and trust me, the feeling was mutual. We would hang out in her office or at the school studio during breaks. And one day she even invited me to see her art at home, but that took an unexpectedly horrible turn. I'm so sorry, I can't make it.
What? Why?
My parents don't even approve of my career choice. They will just go bonkers.
Oh, don't worry. I have first-hand experience with strict parents. I can put in a word across to them for you. Can you give me their number?
My parents never liked me giving their number to outsiders, but I figured it was okay since Millicent and I were friends now. That's my mom's.
Her name? It's funny, I don't even know your family name.
Mrs. Holly Holloway. The moment I mentioned that name, Millicent seemed to freeze over and stared at me like I had grown 2 heads. I was quickly uncomfortable. Are you okay?
You're Holly Holloway's daughter?
Yes, I am Jewel Holloway. What? Without any explanation, she walked out on me. Millicent stopped being nice to me. She wouldn't even spare me a glance in class and would shun me if I tried to get close to her. It got to the point I couldn't take it anymore.
Did my mom offend you? Why are you ignoring me ever since I told you?
Why don't you ask your parents instead?
For several days, asking my parents to know what Millicent's deal was an impossible feat because they were out on a campaign and could only spare pleasantries whenever we talked. I was so restless with curiosity. Thankfully, I soon discovered what was behind her change of attitude. We had a school project, and I had to get some items from the basement for it. As I was searching, my hands hit a dusty wooden box hidden at the back of the shelf.
What? What's this dusty stuff?
Let me guess. Another vintage jewelry used and abandoned by Mom. But when I opened the box, I was stunned to see a picture of a girl with black hair and green eyes. Who is this pretty girl? Beneath the photo was a letter, and when I read it, "Hello, Mom and Dad. It's been 2 months since you last sent me." I couldn't believe my eyes. The girl was calling my parents Mom and Dad and asking them for some money. Did my parents have a child I didn't know about? I had to meet her and get answers, but I knew I wouldn't be successful if the guards followed behind me, so I sneaked out of the house. An hour later, I arrived at the address printed on the letter and knocked at the door. And when it opened, I was shocked to see
Miss Millicent?
Looking at her now, I could see she was the girl in the picture.
What are you doing here?
You sent my parents a letter. You called them.
Suddenly, she pulled me into the house and shut the door.
I sent them that letter years ago. I have a job now, so I don't need their help.
Who are they to you exactly?
Your parents, Jewel, are my parents too. But simply, I am your big sister.
By that time, I had put 2 and 2 together, but it was still shocking to hear.
How? Our parents had me when they were very young, and things were really good for us. But 17 years later, after they gave birth to you, you became the apple of their eyes, and I became like a stranger. They would snap at whatever I did or said. I couldn't take it.
What happened?
After a verbal match, they termed me rebellious and sent me away to live with Mom's sister. I left as soon as I reached adulthood.
By the time Darcy was done telling her story, I was so mad at Mom and Dad.
All of that sounds like teenage hormones acting up. It's not enough to send you out.
Well, you're right, but the harm has been done. They don't care about me anymore, and that's why I had to stop talking to you. If they know we're in contact, they would go angry bull mode and think I have somehow influenced you. Please go.
But we're sisters.
Just pretend like you never met me.
She shooed me out of her house, and I went home angry at my parents for keeping me away from the sibling I had longed for years. But I was also excited to know I had a big sis and wanted to know everything about her. So I deafened my ears for her request for me to stay away from her. That's why I kind of showed up at her house the next day.
What part of pretend you never saw me don't you understand?
I'm just hanging out at your porch. Pretend I'm not here.
You know I can't do that. Come in.
Oh, you don't have to. But thank you.
Good grief.
The ice broke between Darcy and I when I stumbled into her makeshift studio. I was blown away with the pencil work she had. Whoa, these drawings are amazing.
You really think so?
I'm itching to paint one. Can I?
Let's try one then.
Together, we painted one of them and it was so amazing. We make a good team. Eventually, my sister warmed up to me, and we even resumed hanging out together at school. As much as I wanted to confront my parents with what they had done, I kept to myself because Millicent was convinced it would just make things worse. But like most secrets, I couldn't hide it forever. After I graduated high school, my parents prepared a special dinner night to celebrate.
So, Jewel, we picked a law school for you to attend now that you graduated.
Picked a law school for me? Who asked you to do that?
We are just doing what is best for you.
What's best for me is letting me do what I love that makes me happy.
It's either this
Or what? You send me away like you did Millicent? I slapped my hand over my mouth at the mention of Millicent, but it was too late.
How did you know about Millicent?
Since the cat was out of the bag, I figured I might as well point out their unfair treatment to her. I can't believe that all these years I wanted a sibling, you didn't care to let me know I already had one. What kind of parents are you? How did you become so consumed with your career? Your children became disposable. I left them gaping in shock and went to my room, hoping that their conscience would prick them enough to bring Millicent first thing in the morning. But they did the opposite. I went to my former high school the next day to find a crowd outside my sister's empty office. What's going on here? Two bald men came in here some minutes ago and whisked Miss Millicent away into a limo. The description of them fit my bodyguards. It was obvious that my parents were involved in this, and they didn't deny it when I confronted them. Where did you take her?
We gave her a new place to live. She's our daughter, all right? We can never hurt her. Just do what we ask you to do, and you can see her again.
Are we having this conversation again? No, I will not compromise on my future.
It's that, or you say goodbye to us being your parents. The luxury you're living in will be gone.
I will give up that luxury 1,000 times for my freedom and happiness.
Jewel!
Now may I please have her whereabouts? I think I might just move in with her. Be sure to wipe out records of me as your daughter as well. Seeing that my mind was made up, my parents had no choice but to give me my sister's new address. I packed up and went straight to the place, only to see her leaving with a suitcase. Millicent!
Jewel, what are you doing here? With a bag?
I left them. I refuse to be their puppet anymore. Where are you going? Isn't this the house they gave you?
Well, I don't want their stupid handouts in house. I am leaving the city.
I'm coming with you.
Are you sure? Things will be a bit tough.
Trust me, I have had my full share of tough. We moved to another city far away, and to support ourselves, we went into the art-making business full-time, auctioning each finished one. We made good money, enough for me to start college, and without my ex-bodyguards hovering over me, I made many friends. For 2 years, we didn't hear anything from our parents, and we didn't contact them either, though I missed them a good deal. One day, Millicent came home with big news.
Jewel, you've got to look at this. Big couple politicians resign for unknown reason.
Our parents resigned? For real? Could we be the unknown reason?
We would have to wait and see.
When we didn't hear anything from them many months after that news, we concluded that their resignation didn't have anything to do with us. But one day, a fast-rising art collector asked to see our studio, and when they arrived...
Millicent! Jewel!
Mom? Dad? Mom and Dad knelt before us.
Millicent, Jewel, we are so sorry. We didn't realize how selfish and greedy we have become until some months back. Please forgive us and let us come back as a family again.
It's been over 2 years since I left, many more since Millicent, and you expect us to
That's our business card, Jewel. We know we have wronged you two so much that a sorry wouldn't cut it. That's why after we dropped our career, we took up something better fitted for our children's interest. We are art collectors now. And Millicent, we are so sorry. We didn't know how to balance having a new baby with a teenage daughter. Please forgive us.
It wasn't easy, but over time I forgave them, and eventually Millicent did too. We got back together as a family.
My former colleagues would pay richly for your artworks. They are so unique.
And thanks to our parents becoming our marketeers, we soon became a flourishing family business. The luxury I lived in before forever remained in the past, but I got something better. Loving, attentive parents, a big sister, and a simpler, free life. And that's life, guys. It's either this or that. Just make sure that when you choose what truly makes you happy. Something with lasting value, like family.
Say cheese!